Hello, you're listening to Mystic Orange. This is Talking the Shadows, episode 57, I think. In today's episode, I'll be talking about Winx Globe, um, Lord Darkar. So this is a Lord Darkar video for today. Um, so yeah, so settle in and you know, uh, yeah. Hope you enjoy this video. First of all, I'll give a little description about Lord Darkar. So, who is Lord Darkar? Um, Lord Darkar is the main villain of season two. Um, he is uh, he's a half human, half um, uh, phoenix. He has fist of iron, eyes of fire, wit as sharp as a sword, and not to mention he's pretty too. Um, that's the line from the Focus dub. Um, um, he is really an intimidating force. I think Lord Darkar is an underrated villain. He looks so creepy. First of all, his body is like an old skeleton, like with the color of like old red blood. He has like an armor around him as well. Kind of like a knight skeleton. Kind of menacing looking in my opinion. Um, so yeah, they really made a good design of him. And he is also like half phoenix, so he kind of like is a dark version of Bloom's Dragonfire. So he is kind of a powerful villain, in my opinion. At least what we think he is. Um, I will talk about his positives and his negatives, but I think I will talk about his positives first. I think Farke's Lord Darkar is the iconic Lord Darkar. I just love him. He is so funny in the Farke's dub. The dialogue they give him is, I know it's kind of cringy, but you got to love the cringe fest. It's it's where the cringe works. There are times in Farke's dub like the they do have cringy stuff, but it works. Like for example, when Stormy does electric booty kick, or like when Bloom calls the Sky baby, it's definitely a funny moment. I think I will quote some of his Lodaka lines. Like talk to the hand because the face can't want because the face doesn't want to hear it. That's one of my favorite lines. As to the other line I mentioned before, like when he's describing himself, he has many other lines as well. I think Fox's darker. He definitely has charisma. In my opinion, he's just so funny. Um, um, I think he has much more personality in the Fox's version. Um, he's evil and funny and charismatic. I feel like the other dubs don't have that for him. Um, so I've seen the Cinelume version of Lord Darkar, and I've seen the Nickelodeon version. Both of these versions, I mean, they're alright, but they're not that interesting um, depiction of Lord Darkar. He just sounds generic villain. What I can say about Lord Darkar, I could probably say about Acheron or like season 8 Valtar. Um, for one, another positive thing is that I think he's kind of like a threatening force for a villain. Like he is powerful, um, um, because he's like the opposite of the Dragonfire. So you'd imagine he's like a very powerful villain. Um, so I think season two like set up like a really good um drag like Shadowfire, and he's like an opposing force of like Bloom. Um, you know, so I think I kind of like that. Now I do like the backstory of Lord Darker as well. In both versions, really, I think he's like um the starter of like destruction of Domino. You know, with he started everything with the ancestral witches. Um, um, I think, but I also like, um, the Falky's explanation of Lord Darker. Um, I think the uh, Falky's version it kind of explains the human side of um Lord Darkar. Maybe like before he was a man, maybe like he was just a phoenix. But I think like this he I think the I forgot the name they give the person who like turned into Lord Darkar. I think it's like paladin or something. You know, um apparently he tried to like take control of the Phoenix, but the Phoenix ended up control like mangled and discarded him, like distorted distorted his body, and now like he turns into a Phoenix. I think that's a really good law for like Lord Darker, and also like his trying to attack the Pixie village. But I think yeah, and I think he is kind of like intelligent. He plays his uh, he plays everyone like chess piece. He's sitting back at his citadel of Shadowhunt. In my opinion, like Shadowhunt is a great name. I think the Falcons dope came up with this, and it's so cool. In the in the original, it doesn't really have a name. The place he like sets in. Um, so yeah, I love the Falcons name for the place. Um, so he's kind of like saying back like and every character is like a chess piece to him. Um, he uses people in his favor, like the tricks, Kerbog, his crow, and there's Avalon. And then I think he sets like he lets the pixies go, so like he can later on like track the uh, um where the codex is. Um, I think um that can be like a positive and a negative. For positive, I think it helps the other characters, like helps them to like delve into them. Like we can get to see them a bit more because I think season two is like a character-driven season. But I think there is an issue that I have with Lord Darker, which is related to this whole thing. The problem with like being like a distant villain is that like there's not much action for Lord Darker. I mean, the main thing is that he's always in his like Shadowhunt, his belly outside of Shadowhunt. The only time I think we see him in the show is like he's in like where the tricks used to be, the Light Monastery or something, Light Haven, whatever it's called. So that's the only time I've seen him like in B. He's never in anywhere else. I would have loved like if Lord Darkar at least made some like threat to like magics. I feel like even Tritanus made some threat to like the Winx, and he's like a fish, so he can't like. I can excuse Tritanus, but I think every villain have like at least took an attack on um, Althea. The Tricks took over Althea like in season 1. Valtor like took over Althea like with the witches, like turning them into zombies. Um, the Wizard of the Black Circle at least made an effort in the first episode. Uh, I can't remember what Acheron did, but I think Selena, she was like gave poison to Flora in Althea. Um, I think Kalshara used to be a fairy in Althea, so she kind of had an impact. So yeah, I feel like Ladaka, because he's like a distant villain, is there's not much like um you can just say that he's like a lazy villain, like he's not doing anything himself. So the other villains, the minor villains, they're doing the most work. So the Tricks and Avalon, Kerbog, they seem more threatening than Lord Darkar. Like you would, I would say like, um, that just makes Avalon look, more interesting than Lord Darkar, because because Avalon is the one like he's trying to get under Bloom's skin. He's trying to like uh, disguise himself as like an imposter. Um, so you can say that Avalon is doing the most work. Lord Darkar is kind of like um, isn't doing much. He just hired people to do his bidding, but that can be like a flaw for him. So yeah, that's really my main issue with Lord Darkar. Um, I wish they gave him a bit more things to do. So yeah, um, yeah. Overall, I think Ladaka is an underrated villain, but I still think like he has some problems for like a villain as a whole. Like these parts, and also some of the dialogue for the other versions, like Sinalum Ladaka. I feel like he's not. He seems a little bit boring. He seems like a generic villain, but I think the Nickelodeon Lodaka is even worse. Because I did sit through the fourth special. I'm telling you, it's not good to sit through. But Lodaka, just wasn't it for me. Um, and I've heard like according to Unicorn of War, the Italian version of Lodaka isn't. Um, Apparently, people think the Italian Lodaka seems scary, but apparently he sounds like an old grandpa. So I'll take that information. I haven't seen the Italian dub at all. I only seen the three English dubs. So yeah, let me know what you think. of Lord Darkar. I think he is a good villain. He just he, I wouldn't say he's a good villain. He's a powerful villain, but he's a bit of a lazy one. So yeah, thank you for listening, and thank like, share, and subscribe. Make sure to check out my community tab and my past videos. Yeah, thank you for watching, and goodbye.